Sonic Forces is often considered a letdown and one of the worst Sonic games. Well, in most cases, that's what Sonic fans claim it to be. Everywhere you go, Sonic fans say how bad this game is. Metacritic gave Sonic Forces a 57 and IGN gave it a 6.9, but again, IGN hates all Sonic games. Like, how is Mario Wonder a 9 yet Sonic Superstars a 7? So they are literally saying Sonic Forces is the same as Sonic Superstars. Sonic Forces is right after Sonic Lost World and Sonic Boom, so instantly people assume that all Sonic games in the 2010s were bad. But what if I were to tell you that Sonic Forces is actually a good Sonic game, and if you love Sonic, subscribe right now. A good place to start is the level design. Sonic fans just love the fast gameplay of Sonic Unleashed, Colors, and Generations. For Sonic Forces, this same gameplay mechanic was brought back. It basically took the best of Sonic Unleashed high-speed gameplay without the gimmick of the Werehog, and the fast gameplay of Generations, and even added some of the Wisp's ability from Colors. Most of Sonic Forces 3D level designs feel like the way Sonic should power through these levels. It feels like a 3D transition of what classic Sonic games should be. Obviously, there are 2D sections in 3D levels, but that's not much different than anything else they did in Sonic Unleashed, but it does slow the momentum of the level down a bit. It is very obvious that Sonic Forces is an extremely short Sonic game and should have been a lot longer. It is funny that Sonic Forces can be beaten in less time than it takes to beat the first island in Sonic Frontiers. But just because it's a short game doesn't mean it can't be good. I'd rather have a short game that has a lot of replayability than a long game with limited replayability. There certainly is a feeling of emptiness in some spots, but having red rings, moon rings, and time rings help to add to the replayability factor. Not to mention that so many of these levels just feel so much fun each time you replay them, especially Sunset Heights, Arsenal Pyramid, and Mortar Canyon, but because they are so short, you're always left asking for more. Green Hill and other past levels are too frequently used, and they could have done a better job incorporating new levels and be more creative with level designs. Levels are very flat and simple, and it's easy to know where you have to go, although they could have done a better job of adding more multiple pathways. Sonic Forces is a very linear game where you have to go through all 30 levels in order. This is a sharp contrast to Sonic Colors, where you only need to do 3 levels before other areas are opened up. So if you get bored in one level design, you can swap to another. Same goes with the basic level design of Sonic Generations, where there are 3 different levels to choose from at a time. However, I like playing in order because you will go back and forth as your perspective changes as you play the different characters. For example, you might be playing in Sunset Heights with modern Sonic, but the next thing you know, you will be with classic Sonic in Green Hill Zone. This keeps everything new and exciting because each stage feels so purposeful to the overall story, versus a game like Sonic Lost World where it gets very boring fast if you have several of the same level designs in a row. When it comes to the physics, modern Sonic has a double jump that works really efficiently for platforming, and he runs very smoothly, so you feel as though you have good control of Sonic at all times, but he can feel a bit heavy at times. When it comes to classic Sonic's gameplay, he does feel like Sonic Generations, but also does feel a bit more heavy, and the momentum does work well for his level design, because he seems to be based in a similar way to how he handles in Sonic Generations. When it comes to the Avatar gameplay, he does not have the boost, but rather makes an excellent use of the Wisps. The Wisps actually handle very similarly to how they do in Sonic Colors. This allows you to navigate the levels in a very different way, in some cases find new areas to explore that are not accessible in the modern Sonic levels. Speaking of the Avatar, it's really cool that you can customize an avatar in the game, which very few Sonic games allow you to do. You pick your specs, customize their look, dress them up in all kinds of fashion, from stylish to downright odd. I also like that it forces you to play more of the game in order to unlock more avatar accessories. When it comes to the physics and how well the game runs, Sonic Forces has very good graphics, and most objects feature very high polygons. The shaders and lights complement the level design with a good atmosphere. The art design looks so ambitious, and there's a lot of detail in each and every object. Some locations are a bit more cartoony and some are more realistic. The game is very well polished and has very few glitches and bugs, and runs at a higher FPS than many other past Sonic games. When it comes to Sonic Forces story, they take a shot at the Dr. Eggman taking over the world plot. Throughout the game, you truly feel like the leader of the Resistance in a war to take back the world from Dr. Eggman. The Resistance kinda just stands around and does not do that much, putting most of the pressure on modern Sonic, classic Sonic, and the Avatar character. When it comes to boss fights, I don't know why they put Zavok in the game. I really like Infinite because he's a really funny and evil villain. The boss fights with Infinite are very fun, although he could have been written a bit better. As for the final boss battle, it's a bit anticlimactic, especially since they did not use Supersonic. Lastly, the music is a bit all over the place, as there's some great songs such as Sunset Heights, Fist Bump, and Arsenal Pyramid, but there are also other stages that the music could have been a bit more joyful and upbeat than it was. In conclusion, Sonic Forces is an extremely short Sonic game. There are certainly improvements that could have been made. I would put the game not as the worst and not as the best, but somewhere in the middle, because it is a really fun Sonic game. That's gonna do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, you gotta go fast!